In this video, we will be talking about burns. We briefly talked about burns already, but in more detail, we're going to talk about them in this video. So burns are tissue damage that are caused by excessive heat, electricity, radioactivity, or corrosive materials that break down the proteins in the skin. And burns are graded according to their severity. So depending on how much skin is damaged, that determines its grading. A first-degree burn involves only the epidermis, and it's characterized by mild pain and erythema. Erythema just means redness. But with first-degree burns, there are no blisters. The skin functions remain intact. Immediate flushing with cold water may lessen the pain and the damage caused by a first-degree burn, but generally the healing of a first-degree burn occurs in about 3 to 6 days, and it might be accompanied by flaking or peeling. A second-degree burn destroys the epidermis and part of the dermis. Some skin functions are lost, and redness, blister formation, and edema, which is a collection of watery fluid in the tissue, and also pain will result. You will have a blister. The epidermis separates from the dermis due to the accumulation of tissue fluid between them, or the edema. Associated structures such as hair follicles, sebaceous glands, and sweat glands are usually not injured. If there's no infection, a second-degree burn heals without skin grafting in about 3 to 4 weeks, but scarring may result. First and second-degree burns are collectively referred to as partial thickness burns. A third-degree burn, or a full thickness burn, destroys the epidermis, the dermis, and the subcutaneous layers. Most skin functions are lost. These burns vary in appearance from a marble white to mahogany colored to charred, dry wounds. There is marked edema, and the burn region is numb because sensory nerve endings have been destroyed. Regeneration occurs slowly, and much granulation tissue forms before being covered by epithelium. Skin grafting might be required to promote healing and minimal scarring. The seriousness of a burn is determined by its depth, as we've talked about in the past couple slides, and to the extent of the area involved, as well as the person's age and general health. According to the American Burn Association's classification of burn injury, a major burn is going to be any burn that includes third-degree burns over 10% of the body surface area, or second-degree burns over 25% of the body surface area, and also any third-degree burns on the face, hands, feet, and the perineum. And the perineum includes anal and urogenital regions. When the burn area exceeds 70%, more than half of the victims die. Okay, so a quick means for estimating the surface area affected by a burn in an adult is the rule of nines. So you count 9% if both the anterior and posterior surfaces of the head and neck are affected. So anterior and posterior is going to be 9%. Count 9% for both the anterior and posterior surfaces of each upper limb. So the anterior and posterior of both upper limbs is going to be 18%. Count 4 times 9 or 36% for both anterior and posterior surfaces of the trunk, including the buttocks. And 36% for the lower limbs as well, both anterior and posterior portions of each lower limb. And then count 1% for the perineum, equaling a total of 100% for the entire body. So that is the rule of 9s for burns. And that's going to be the end of chapter 5.